In life, it is not what happens to us that matters, but how we choose to react, respond, or our attitude towards those events. It's a choice we must train ourselves to make repeatedly. Most times, we claim that we have done everything humanly possible, exhausting our last resources. However, our adversary, hidden in the recesses of our minds, souls, and hearts, does not want us to understand God's role in our lives. God is committed to setting people free, morally and spiritually. In the prophets, the commandments, and the law, it is evident that the Lord declared freedom for the prisoner, release for the oppressed. Luke chapter 4, verse 18. He promised light for those in darkness and the removal of their yokes and burdens. Most times, we believe we are seeking God, but in truth, it is God who seeks us. He is troubled when we are, concerned when we are, and disheartened when we are. He despises our distresses and is unhappy about our gloom. God approaches us when we become like little children. Christ advised us to be like, act like, and live like little children. Children hold no grudges. They forgive quickly, forget pain easily, and believe easily. God revealed His Son to us, and He said, believe in Him. That's our only admonition. Luke chapter 9, verse 35. Let's consider the prospects. Eternal life, indwelling of His Spirit, God's interventions, grace to overcome, grace exceeding unto greater grace, and an endless list of joys and triumphs. Romans chapter 8, verse 32. Every hero of God, all His generals, were mere men until God made them heroes of faith and life. The patriarch Job went through crisis after crisis. His children died, he was ravaged by sickness, and he became an object of harsh ridicule. Elijah faced the threat of death and rejection until God reminded him of his mission. Isaiah, in disbelief, told God he was a man of unclean lips, from an unclean people. God did not accept his excuse, but instructed his angel to purify his unclean lips. Moses almost backed out before God, claiming he was not fit for God's purpose because he stuttered. He asked God whom he should tell the people had sent him, and claimed he was not fit enough to stand before Pharaoh. God does not accept our excuses. He went on to empower Moses. Our faith is one of God converting our trials to testimonies and our weaknesses to strengths. Our faith relies on God's benevolence, miracle, working power, and transformative grace. Christ confronted Saul of Tarsus on his way to Damascus, revealing the guilt of obstructing his gospel and persecuting his people. Saul was converted and tasked with taking the gospel to the Gentiles. He suffered greatly for the sake of the gospel. In his second letter to the Corinthians, he referred to his imprisonments, beatings, stoning, shipwrecks, hunger, and death threats as light and momentary troubles. Peter epitomized fear. Despite the Lord calling him a rock, he was an insecure and boisterous individual who denied Jesus 3 times. A crowing rooster made him realize his guilt, and he became despondent. From Peter's fear, Christ constructed a faith so powerful that it moved thousands of men to submit to God in repentance. God gives us courage no matter what we face, regardless of our frailties, weaknesses, and traumas. He will help us. Often, our faith is tested. For every new level we reach with God, we must remember that a new challenge awaits us. We must comprehend that the reasons behind our trials have yet to be revealed. It's important to know that every trial elevates us. There is a divine purpose in all the trials we undergo. Christ, the Son of God, has promised us an abundant life. He has pledged to heal our wounds and all our infirmities. Regardless of the depth of our pain, He has promised to help us if we lay down the broken pieces before Him. Our hurts may be deep, often accentuated by our guilt. But the question is, how deep are our hurts? They are as deep as the extent of our guilt. Guilt has a way of blinding us to the truth, both human and divine truths. The question remains, can I repay and restore everything to normal by the griefs demanded by my guilt? Do I owe anyone an explanation for this occurrence? From where can I obtain true justification? In Isaiah chapter 11 verses 1 to 5, Christ was proclaimed our advocate. And He shall not judge by the sight of His eyes, neither shall He reprove by the hearing of His ears, but with righteousness shall He judge the poor, and reprove with equity for the meek of the earth. It is not any person's prerogative to judge you, but Christ's. And Christ has declared that what you considered sin was not solely your fault. He sees more than you realize. A court of justice, or even people, may judge based on what they see or hear, but the Spirit of Christ sees beyond all this. It is He who can truly take up your case and handle it. And His words have made it clear. As long as you are in Christ and believe in Him, there now is no condemnation for those who are in Christ. John 8, verse 31. Guilt may lead to hatred for yourself and others as well. However, that is not how it should be perceived. Not being able to see beyond our circumstances causes us to walk in blame and guilt for an extended period. This results in a waste of time, energy, and motivation. It suppresses joy and creates a separation from God, which in turn delays healing. It fosters animosity and distances us from good friends. Communion with God is reduced to almost nothing. It becomes challenging to discern God's perfect will in such situations. Guilt breeds self-pity and anger, even anger directed toward God. When you envelop yourself in guilt and refuse to let go, you make the adversary happy. He rejoices because he never wants you to break free from this bondage, preventing you from claiming your rightful spiritual heritage. Forgiveness means setting someone free from guilt and its effects. It's an act of kindness, caring, and love that helps fix things. Forgiveness comes from God. Because Jesus made a big sacrifice for us, God forgives our sins against Him, others, and ourselves. So, it doesn't make sense to stay angry at ourselves after God has forgiven us. Remember that God forgives and heals us, as it says in the book of Psalm chapter 103, verse 3. The devil will remind you of your inadequacies, shortcomings, and failures. If you listen, you are doomed. Remember, you are the temple of God. You are pearls in His hands. You reside within the protective confines of His hand. Stop trying to fix things on your own. Hand over the broken pieces of your life to Him. Pray about the finished work of Christ on the cross. Pray it. Let it speak on your behalf. Remind God of His covenant promise concerning you. You will be surprised how easy it is to let go of your guilt and live a life of continual grace and triumph. Read the Word of God regularly. Meditate on it. Listen to good sermons. Seek materials that could help you overcome what you are going through. Find help and support as best as you can. Dedicate yourself to sharing your experiences and envision a restorative, victorious image of yourself. God is a restoring God. He is greater than all you are going through. It is never too late to turn to Him. It is never too late to lay down all the broken fragments of your life before Him. Don't cling to the painful memories of your dark past. Don't allow the past to be used to taunt you. This is one of the enemy's greatest weapons. 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 says, "For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." Reframe your past. Reject the issues that demean you. Refocus your thoughts. This is the time to embark on great endeavors. Say this prayer with me. "O Lord, I stand on your promises, and all my hope is in you. Help me to accept the things I truly cannot change, and to cope with the ones I can change with your assistance. Let me receive help from above. Let me not undermine the strengths and support you have provided for me during the crises I am facing. Let me appreciate every great counsel and direction I receive from family, friends, my church, and community throughout this journey. Let me emerge strong and be able to support those who will walk the same path in life." Amen.